All right, and we're back.
Wee.
Let's jump right back in as Maisie Summerspring leads you through the back streets of Cloudfall until you arrive at this pretty small, somewhat rundown house a bit to the north of where the Temple of the Lord of Mists was. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll kind of, hold the gate open for you guys and go, come on in, come on in. I think my dad's around somewhere, but well, we can just like have you guys over for lunch. It'll be great.
Oh, okay.
Sounds
Okay.
wonderful.
Thank you. That's so kind of you.
Yeah, no. We need to do a little bit of planning anyway about how we're gonna tackle that thing and just a little bit of orientation. So it'll be good. It'll be great. Hey, Dad.
Okay.
Dad, and she'll kind of like call ahead, and from within the house, you'll sort of hear this kind of gravelly voice go, "Maisie, up in the kitchen." And she will open a door and lead you guys into a let's call it very, very cozy house. Everything is very small and very cramped in here. And you do see this older gnome gentleman, a little bit taller than Maisie, but still in that very, very tiny gnome range. With this mostly bald head, just like a little bit of tufts of white still on it. And as he turns around, you see that he is wearing those kinds of spectacles that amplify the world like 10,000. Like, his eyes look gigantic through his glasses. But you see that they are the exact same hue of electric blue that Maisie has. And he will sort of go, "Oh, goodness. I was not expecting guests. Ulrin Summerspring at your service." And he will kind of walk with the help of a cane that is halfway up to a crutch, basically, in his tiny body over to where you guys are, and shake your hands and sort of go, "Please, please, please, we have more than enough stew for everyone, so please have a seat, have a seat."
Ah, stew. It smells delicious.
Thank
Thank-
you.
It does
Thank
smell
you so
very
much.
good.
Thank you so much. That's so kind of you to share with us. I'm Cal.
Pleasure to meet you.
Helena.
Lovely, lovely.
Hi, Satus.
A minstrel, lovely. Always happy to have storytellers and knights and magic folk in our little home.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here, Mr. Summerspring.
Please, 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 have a seat, have a seat. And and like in the course of about a couple of minutes, some warm, delicious smelling bowls of stew are placed in front of you. And Maisie and her father are sitting opposite you in the table they have, and she's putting down some glasses of water in front of everyone as she kind of goes, "All right, so Mount Firmament, don't get me wrong, I'm excited to take it on." And Ulrin will kind of look at her and go, "Are you taking on what now?" And she'll sort of go like, well, I'll explain later, Dad. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But yeah. What is taking you folks up there? You don't, pardon me saying so, but you don't look like the ultra religious types. Mostly it's just fanatics that try to take that thing on.
Well, it's sort of a challenge that was set to us by someone, and there might be someone at the top that we need to talk to.
You're trying to talk to the Autumn Keeper.
Maybe?
The woman in charge of the cathedral of the Lord of Mist. I call her the Autumn Keeper. I don't know why, but she's supposed to be real wise. She knows things. They say that she knows things that the world itself has forgotten. That she has roots that go deeper than any tree that's still living. So I can only imagine that she must have some real grand answers for whatever questions you have.
Yeah,
That's
I
the-
think that is who we're aiming for, yes.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping.
Great. So how much mountain climbing experience y'all have?
I've read about it.
There was this really big hill where I grew up.
Now,
Yeah. Where do you grow up?
Bas Serinath.
How big was this hill? You know, like we're talking thousands of feet? We're talking, what are we talking about?
We're probably talking a couple 100 feet.
Okay,
And-
cool. Sure.
I have been on hills and known people who have climbed them, and I'm quite athletic and very interested in climbing, but haven't had much opportunity to do it before now. The truth is, none of us have a great deal of climbing experience, but we have to get up.
I might
and
be
we're
able
going
to walk up walls. I haven't tried yet.
Cal is very climby.
Yeah.
Just gifted.
These two gnomes exchange a look, and then Maisie will sort of go, all right, well, I asked the gods for a challenge to prove to everyone that I can do this, and we're gonna fucking ace this. We're gonna get you guys up that hill. But okay,
All right.
Great.
there's here, hang on, and she'll kind of like dart into a side room and return with basically a full set of alpine gear, special boots that have sort of those spikes up front so you can just kind of like latch onto the walls, a harness, rope, special gloves, protective gear. And she'll sort of go, here, Satus, come here. I think that this will fit you. And basically she will begin to give you your orientation on everything that you need to know about mountain climbing. She'll show you how to put the gear on, she'll show you how it works, she'll run you through a little bits of form, and just kind of spends the next half hour or so just giving you this crash course in everything mountain climbing. Helena and Cal, could I have perception checks from the two of you, please?
I get a 2,
Not a natural 20.
just as well.
Great. Helena, you are enraptured by this explanation. You are, in fact, you pulled out a little notebook and a quill and are taking notes because you want
I
to
wanna
make
prove
sure
myself.
that you get it right.
Yep.
Cal, you anticipate it happening just a moment before it does. You take this deep smell of just this beautiful, rich, warm stew. It smells so delicious. And just as you're thinking, this might be the sort of thing that you feel your bag move under the table.
Oh no. I very quickly are Maisie and Ulrin kind of helping Satus?
Maisie is right now running through a demonstration, and Ulrin is watching and seems to be sort of very attentive to what she's doing. You see sort of this smile of pride in this father's eyes. Clearly he loves climbing as much as Maisie does. But like all their attention is kind of focused over there.
Okay. I'm going to try to, as surreptitiously as possible, reach into my pocket where I think I've got some meat bits. And
TM.
yeah. Meat bits. That's an episode title.
It's going to beat.
Yeah. Reach into my pocket and try to like really surreptitiously put some in my bag for bolts.
Cool. Let's do let's begin with a sleight of hand check just to see
Okay.
how this goes.
Yep. That makes sense. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. 5.
You are trying to do this and a little bit lose your balance and kind of, like catch yourself back up, but like there's a bit of a clatter on the table.
Okay.
And so Maisie stops her demonstration and looks over to you, as does Ulrin, and they both sort of are looking at you as Maisie goes, you all right, Cal?
Sorry. I just got really excited. And I get very animated when I get excited, and I just kind of slipped on this little bit of stew that was on the table.
And Maisie will go, yeah, no sweat. I get that way when talking about, half Veldrin knots as well. Like, I know that it is sort of a very, very particularly exciting part of the demonstration, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, like, Satus, really, the thing that you need to keep in mind is that, like, as long as you're holding on to pressure in the knot this way, it's not going to slip. But if you move it over here, and she will continue back to this not at all scintillating deep dive into alpine knots. But Ulrin will sort of go, now there's more stew over there if you would just like a refill. It looks like you spilled some there, but we'll clean it up, don't worry. But if you want to help yourself, there's plenty on the pot.
Yes, thank you. I would love some more stew.
Great.
And so I'm going to get up and go help myself to some more stew.
As you turn around, you notice that your bag has moved towards you.
Oh, jeez. And so then I'm going to, like, kind of back away, trying to block the bag from view and, like, pick up the bag behind me and carry it, like, surreptitiously while I'm holding the stew in my other hand. And sit back down.
Okay. I'm like, I need a grace check. I think this is just a dexterity check.
Dexterity, okay. Ooh, that's pretty good. 18 plus 2 for a non-natural 20.
Nice. You're able to do this maneuver without any problem. You've seated back down. The bag is now sort of angled behind you, further away from everyone else. You have your stew. You are all set. Except you are perhaps now hearing slight mewling noises from within your bag.
Yep. So I'm going to reach in for the meat bits again in my pocket and try to put it in the bag behind me.
Okay. Sleight of hand check, please.
Okay. Hey. Not bad. 19.
In a flash of your hand, like your hand is there 1 second, and then it's back.
Yep.
It's a blur as those meat bits are just suddenly gone.
Yep. Great.
But a moment later, you hear a slightly louder mewling sound. In unmistakable universal code for... No, not that one. The other one.
Do I have any cheese in my pocket?
Helena, perception check, please.
Sure. 10.
You are now starting to see your own bag as well as Satus's bag beginning to stir slightly under the table.
Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna maneuver myself in front of the bags.
So Satus, just pull on this end, and you'll see that the entire thing comes apart. Here, now you try it.
Okay, yeah, no, I see. Thank you so much for this instruction.
That's exactly right. You gotta do it that way. Now here, turn around.
Everything is going so well.
And I'm just writing down everything you say, just over here a little. So good.
And I'm gonna eat some more of this stew.
There is a slightly louder mewling sound from your bag, Emma, or bag, Cal, which at this point you sort of see Ulrin look around as though going, "What was that sound?"
Oh, this is so interesting. Oh. Oh.
And I think that at this point, Maisie will go, all right, great. So I think that about covers it here, and she will duck into the other room and return with 2 other sets of alpine gear. And she'll kind of go, Cal, Helena, you guys come up here now, and we'll get you guys fitted up. Just like come up here.
Great.
Satus, you can sit down. Thank you.
Yep. If you want to just come...
Yeah.
And take up space. I mean, just be...
Sure. I mean, I always do.
Yes, but like, now more than ever.
Yeah.
I think with this queuing a perception check with advantage, Satus.
Okay. 7 on the first roll, 9 on the second, and my perception is +6. So
yeah, you immediately
15.
realize what the thing that they are kind of gesturing at is.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah. Yeah, not a problem. You guys go up there. I'll make sure our bags are nice and safe and stationary.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the stew.
Olrin,
Yeah, make sure to have plenty of stew.
I've
Olrin
heard it's really good.
Olrin frowns for a moment, and then you sort of see him shrug as if going, "Ugh, city folk.
Yeah.
They say the darndest things.
We do.
We do.
And indeed, as you sort of trade places with them, Satus, you see that Cal's bag is definitely inching towards the pot of stew.
Satus tries to grab it so that and drag it away from the pot of stew.
There is a small, disappointed noise from the bag, but neither Maisie nor Olrin seem to notice.
Wow.
Anyway, all right, guys. So, just like loop things over here this way, and then just kind of like, all right, do those boots fit you, Cal? Here, I think that maybe that one. Yeah, that should be good. All right, so try this. And you sort of go through a different part of the of the orientation exercise. And after a couple of minutes of explanation, Olrin will sort of get to his feet and kind of go, does anybody else want any more stew? It's getting a little bit cold, so I'm just going to put it away if nobody else wants any.
I would love a refill.
Sure.
I would love a bowl.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I had a lot because I was getting instructed
Of course,
to.
of course.
Thank you so much. It's so tasty.
Yes. No. Here, have your fill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Cal, you really want to kind of keep your leg at a little bit of a higher angle to like really, you want to wedge the thing right into the stone, and goes back to the technical explanation.
Yeah.
So Satus, you now have a bunch of stew in front of you.
Take a little spoonful and then try to, as long as I'm not being looked at, stick the spoonful into the bag and have it be fed to our tiny friends.
I think a sleight of hand check just to see how smoothly this goes.
Thankfully, I'm really good at those. I think that's a 7 + 1. 7 + 1 for a big ol' 8. Which, if you turn it sideways, is infinity.
I think that as you stick the spoon in, there is a slurping sound, but then the spoon gets pulled into the bag, and you suddenly no longer have the spoon.
I would try to grab the spoon back out, like open the bag and try to rustle through and be like, no, come on, I need the spoon.
You get it back, and again, there's sort of a sort of disappointed meowing sound from within the bag.
At which I would go, scrumptious.
Excellent.
I think the rest of the orientation session pretty much goes without incident. You guys spend a couple of hours talking, just going through everything that you need to know about the gear, everything that you need to go about form, everything that you need to know about the local area. Maisie sort of makes sure that your cold weather gear is up to snuff, because the higher up you go in the mountain, the colder it is going to get. She also kind of basically gives you a quick rundown of it is largely going to be a completely vertical climb. And we're going to do sort of like our best to pace ourselves. But whenever we sort of arrive at a rock shelf or a ledge or kind of any amount of flat terrain, we really need to decide whether we want to make that our camp for the night and just kind of like stay there. Because if we keep going, then we need to sort of go for it until the next one. And that's going to be a little bit unpredictable.
Okay.
It's now late in the afternoon, so she would strongly recommend that we just hold off on starting right now. It's going to get very cold very fast in a couple of hours, so it's better to begin with the dawn the next day and just kind of meet in the center of town, 6 a.m., 6 bell, and kind of just tackle it with the start of the day.
Okay.
Wonderful, yeah.
That sounds good, yeah. We'll go we don't want to impose on you
No.
anymore. Your hospitality has been exceptional.
Olrin will go, I wish that we had space to offer you, but we really don't, unfortunately.
We're quite big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Not
I
to
take up a
worry.
lot of space, as we've discussed earlier.
Yeah. That's kind of our group mantra. Take up space.
Take up space.
Yeah. But so we'll go maybe find a room in town.
Sure.
And then we'll see you
Bright and early tomorrow.
bright and early tomorrow. Thank you both so much.
Yes,
Yes,
of course.
thank
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for taking a chance on me. It means the world. I'm not gonna let you down, I promise.
We won't take a chance. We won't let you down either. You're taking a chance on us too.
Excitedly shake all three of your hands as she holds the door open for you and says, "See you tomorrow. We're gonna do something amazing together, guys. I promise you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And with that, the door closes, and you are all outside. It is around dusk of the day.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
This is good because the dragons would have been found if we'd stayed.
yeah, for sure. To be perfectly honest, it may just come out with Maisie. She may just find out.
I
how
think
the
there is a
Going to
good.
find out.
I think Maisie will, but if we only have to reveal to Maisie and not her father as well, it's one less person to potentially freak out. So
It's true.
I feel bad.
I know. I hope we're not taking advantage of her, but she seems like she knows what she's doing.
Look, if we wanted, when we meet tomorrow morning before we leave, if we could just try to, if we want to be respectful, we could just open up. And if we feel like we trust her, which I feel like I do, we could just tell her, look, before you get into something where there's 3 unknown variables, here's what we're working with if we feel like we can trust her.
Maybe she understands that we're going to consult about something serious, and this is something serious, so...
If there's ever a person to trust, I think it would be the person who has been doubted time and time again, and I feel like they are a friend, and if we were ever going to reveal... Look, that one random guy knows, so... At least...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great. He was
That
great.
ranger. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
really
The
nice.
dogs.
So it'll be
Yeah.
nicer to tell a friend.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I think in a way, if she is going to freak out halfway up the mountain and either run away or try and kill us, then we might as well deal with that at this end of the mountain.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Honesty.
Huh, what a concept.
What a concept.
A new turn for us.
Yeah.
Delayed honesty.
Delayed honesty. Yes.
Now, how many, what's the hotel situation in the area?
Yeah.
That is a good
roll for hotels.com.
That is a terrific question. So there is a variety of choices before you, by which I mean 2.
Cool.
You,
That's a variety, more than
Yep.
one.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I perhaps made it sound like there was more of a spread. But you ask around, and quickly you are directed towards the Glowing Rocks, which is probably the biggest building in all of Cloudfall. It is what looks like a luxury hotel spa in the middle of town. And you discover that this is one of the most popular destinations in town because it is a hot springs resort. People travel from all over the continent to come here and rest in sort of the magical hot spring pools that this hotel offers. It is food included. It is soft beds. It is 500 thread count beddings and so on and so forth. But that will run you for 1 room, 20 gold pieces a night. Or there is a place on the edge of town called the Hilltop Rest, which is a much more no frills, just a bed and very little else. You can order something from the canteen-like kitchen, but that is not included with your room. That will run you 1 gold piece a night per room.
So
mean-
the one with lots of frills, if you were to rest there, would it feel like it was so relaxing that it
Yeah.
was long? Like almost you would like you feel like, oh, I feel like I've been asleep for a week.
Yeah.
No, however,
Okay.
mechanically, what it will do is it will give you all what we're going to call a luck point, which is basically a thing that you will be able to hold on to, and until you tell me you want to use it, because that will let you re-roll one dice roll of your choice.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we're gonna succeed, 20 gold is a drop in the bucket, and we can all have a big sleepover party and tell ghost stories all night.
It's true. I mean, either we're going to die or we're going to
Mhm.
make about 800 gold
Mm-hmm.
in theory.
Perfect.
So,
Yep.
YOLO.
Yep. I like it.
It was not 20 gold each, right?
20 gold for one room. The room will
20
have
gold
That
for
we can
one
all
room.
get.
we'll have
Okay.
one bed, but you could share.
fine.
You could
Yeah,
there
we're
will
share a
be
tent.
there will be a
Oh,
couch.
yeah.
You are used to
Yep.
roughing it on travel.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
chances are that the glowing rocks' worst couch will be a better sleeping surface than the hilltop rest's best bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we
Love
we get fancy with it. We get those luck points. Would it at least count as a short rest? Like, so could
Yes,
I use a
absolutely.
hit die to?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I think because of that, I would utilize some hit die because I'm still only at 29 out of 38. So, how many have I think I've already used 2.
I think
so-
so.
I will use. I think I'll use 2 more and then roll it, and then that got me 9. Cool. So that would put me all the way back. Oh, exactly back. I had 9 to gain. Huzzah!
Huzzah.
This place is fucking decadent.
Yeah.
You roll up and they do indeed charge you 20 gold pieces, but the room is beautiful and large, and the couch is so comfortable that the moment that you sit on it, you almost feel as though it is giving you a massage. There are amenities throughout, including a large fruit basket that is waiting for you when you get there. It takes approximately 1 minute of the door being closed and the dragons being let out of their bags before the dragons have completely ripped through that fruit basket.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
greatly,
Mhm.
enjoy it. If you do partake in the hot springs, they are an amazing experience. You feel knots that you didn't even know that you had in your back undo themselves. You are also told that there is an on-site armorer and tailor. So your clothes get
Ooh.
mended. Helena, your armor is polished to a gleaming shine. And by the time that you are done with it and you see the dawn of the new day, you look like completely new people. Like, your clothes are on point, your skin is shiny from the spa treatments that you got, you're all standing about 2 inches taller from your backs having been
Yeah.
undone and redone. And so just like a very, very amazing hotel experience. Is there anything that you guys would like to specifically do while you're there, or are we just kind of fast forwarding to 6 a.m. the next day?
I think we're ready to rock.
Yeah, unless we encounter anything interesting because I definitely think Cal goes to the hot springs and has a soak.
I think that
And-
perhaps
Yeah.
the only interesting thing is that you see that some of the hot springs pools are occupied by people that you recognize from the Leopard's Den. Not
Huh.
Lauren and not Valar, the
Mm.
elf that gave you the sort of guided tour of it, but just kind of a couple of the people there sort of, are hanging out, soaking on their own, and they kind of look at you and then give you a wide berth and don't really say anything to you unless you want to go say anything to them.
I don't think so. I don't want them to know what we're doing.
No, I think our actions will speak for us as we climb this mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I think the next morning, as you arrive at the town square, it is more or less deserted aside from a couple of merchants that are setting up their stalls for the day, and the awaiting figure of Maisie Summerspring, decked out in her climbing gear, as she gives you all a little bit of a nervous smile and goes, "All right, You guys ready to do this?
Yes, we are. And before we do, Maisie, there is something that we need to tell you because we see you as a very nice person and a trusting person, and we want to be that to you as well.
Guys, I am very flattered, but I have a girlfriend, and it's
Oh,
a very
yeah.
oh no.
it's a very happy relationship, and
That's Maisie. That is wonderful. The reason
Satus
we
is
are
not propositioning you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
the reason that we are going up this mountain is because we need to investigate a particular quandary around some friends that we've recently made, and we've had our friends in our bags, and
you've had your friends in your what?
I think maybe we should just show you what who's joining us. It's not just
Why
us
we have to go
three.
up.
Yeah, there's gonna be 3 more companions on this hike.
Huh? What?
And then I think, show Maisie and peek in the bags so she can see the little dragons.
Oh my God! Whoa. Oh God. And then she'll kind of look around and realize that a couple of the merchants have looked over to see what has startled her. And she'll kind of lower her voice and go, "Are those what I think they are?"
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Let's not do this in the middle of town. Here, let's get out of here. Come this way.
Okay.
She will
Trust
lead.
you.
She will lead you. Yeah, all of you. Come on. And she will lead you through a road that takes you out of the northern edge of town and is leading towards the base of Mount Firmament. And once you are firmly out of town, and there's kind of a moment where she looks around and makes sure that there aren't any other people around, just kind of the mountain road and some woods on either side, she'll go, "Okay, what the hell? What?"
Sorry for not telling you yesterday. We just weren't sure. We didn't want to overwhelm you or your dad.
This is pretty overwhelming. What you
Okay,
have?
so
You have dragons.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's part of why we need to go up there and talk to the Autumn Keeper.
Oh my God.
Because this is Volt. He's very sweet. He's very food motivated.
Cool. Hello, Volt. And she'll kind of reach out a tentative hand, and Volt will kind of a little bit sniff it, and then sort
She's
of
a friend.
sort of snort, and just like let her like pet him a little bit.
Good boy, Volt. Good boy.
Okay, cool. Got it. So those 3 are coming with us as we go up there.
Yes.
Yes. And aside from Bolt, we have my old friend here, Avanzada, and
Blaze here.
yeah, we've recently come across them. We are not exactly sure everything about them, but we do know that Avanzada's got some fire going on. Volt is a little sparky, and Blaze, funnily enough, is an ice dragon.
Okay. I'm going to need a moment. And she kind of sits
course.
down on this
Take your time.
tree trunk that fell on the side of the road. And Avansada will kind of stare at her curiously as though kind of, she'll, sort of move her head from side to side as if trying to figure her out. Blaisdeau will kind of trot over and sort of nudge Maisie's leg with her head and kind of, just like give her a couple of taps. And then as Maisie sort of, still a little bit of a shock, like reaches down and like pets her, she'll let out this like very soft purr.
Oh. She's never done that before.
Okay.
She must like
He
you.
likes you.
I like you too. You seem very nice. Right. Okay. Well, aside from the fact that you 3 are going to be carrying a lot more weight than I thought you were, I don't know that this necessarily changes anything. I mean, like, the state of the world's changing. Yes, like, oh my god, this is gonna make people flip out, but I don't think it changes anything in our immediate mission.
Yeah, it is pretty world changey. So we really appreciate you helping us. We're figuring it out too, but I think they're good.
Great. Great, great, great. Okay. I think we should just start walking, because if you just let me sit here and be shocked, I'm gonna be sitting here all day.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
let's do that.
Let's figure it out as we go.
Okay.
Thanks, Maisie.
And, she'll get to her feet and kind of trot onwards and keep leading you through the mountain path. And as she goes, she'll kind of ask questions about, so, wait, like, how? What? Where did they come from? And just kind of about your time together. How honest are you with Maisie, and how much do you hold back? Like, do you just tell her everything, or is there any editing that you do for the story?
I might not tell her yet about like the visions we've had, but just that we found these Rildran.
Yeah, I think like Lady Atala, like getting the Rildran, fighting off vampire, and then them turning into dragons is fine. But yeah, as far as like, I don't think Void Keeper, I don't think Visions, I don't think like Vintner, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we don't want to overwhelm her.
I think this is it. This is honesty is the best policy, but the Void Keeper seems like a lot to hit somebody with so soon after the dragons.
Yeah.
So sort of make it seem like it's important and world changing, but not necessarily that we're losing a day each day. Not just yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. She listens thoughtfully and seems to be wrapping her head around everything by the time that you get to the base of the mountain. And she will sort of go, okay. My god. I asked for a chance to prove myself. Here you are. I'm gonna try my best to do right by you folks.
And we're gonna do our best to do right by you too.
Alright, well, this is gonna be a hell of a story afterwards. But here we are.
That's the idea.
And the mountain path gets to this little point where it just plateaus after a little bit of a climb and stops at the base of this just vertical, jagged piece of rock that rises up from the ground. That is Mount Firmament. But in front of it, there is a little stone sign, almost like a lamppost, that has a plaque on it. And carved in it, there are these words. Wanderer, you stand before Mount Firmament. The road ahead of you will not be easy. Mountain, sky, and fire shall all test you. But take heart. Enlightenment awaits at the summit. And underneath that is the same 5-point star that was in the temple of the Lord of Mists.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Mountain, sky, and fire, eh? Great.
No problem.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Everyone,
Bring it on, Mist Lord.
Everyone still feeling good? Maisie asks. Everyone still want to do this?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I believe in us.
She will pull out, hidden underneath her shirt, she will pull out the same necklace that all of the snow leopards were wearing. Only hers is just black cord. There are no fangs on it. And she will hold on to it for a moment, and you'll sort of hear her under her breath mutter a short prayer. And then she'll go, all right, here we go. And let's talk about how this is going to work, because this is going to be a little bit of a process.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hiking time.
So,
Psyched.
I just wanted to respond to some folks in the comments who are pointing out that Cloudfall feels very Colorado. like between the hot springs and everybody being super buff and mountain climbing. As someone who used to live in Colorado, I got big Colorado vibes. Anyway, carry on.
Excellent. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, basically, there's going to be an order in which you are going. There's going to be sort of someone that is going first, and then the next person will be tied onto them, and then the rope will go to the third person, and then the rope will end with the last person. So I need to know right now, what is the order in which you are going? Who's going to be the head climber, and then who is going to be the next one, and the next one, and the person bringing up the rear?
Is there any sense of weight affecting it or skill? Or...
Yeah, like should Maisie go first or last?
Maisie will say that unless there is a very good reason for her as the sort of expert mountain climber to not go first, as the person that is going to be sort of like showing you which path to take, which rocks to hold on to, she should probably be the one holding, like, going first.
Okay.
The person going last will likely be the person that will have to do something if, say, someone starts to fall, or if something goes wrong. They are sort of more in charge than anyone else of making sure, for example, that, like, they are holding on to the side of the cliff as everyone else falls, and the ropes will bind them to that last person. So she encourages you guys to have someone with the most strength holding down the end of the climb.
I would say Big H.
Yeah.
Big H.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. That just leaves you two to sort out.
What do you think, Satus? I could go second.
I think you going second, you have the
Yeah.
better eyesight and the lighting
That's a good
abilities.
point.
I
That's
feel
a
like
good point, yeah.
you're set for it, and yeah, I'll come in third.
Cool. So, here's how this is going to work. Cal, for every chunk of the mountain climb, you are going to roll a perception check.
Okay.
Because Maisie is with you, which,
Mhm.
good job on bringing her, you are
Yeah.
going to have advantage on all of these
Great.
perception checks.
Okay, great. I love that.
If you roll well, one marker will go up. And once that marker reaches a certain point, a good thing will happen.
Okay.
And every
I
time that
like
you roll poorly, a separate marker will go up. And once that marker reaches a certain point, a bad thing will happen.
Okay.
Cal and, Satus and Helena, you two are going to be rolling on the skill of your choice to tell me how you are advancing in this climb. It can just be a straight strength check. It can be a dexterity check. It can be an athletics or an acrobatics check. But if you would also like to make the case for we're doing something different that is in some way helping the climb, I am extremely open to hearing what your pitch is. And how well you guys do on that check will kind of determine how quickly the group as a whole is moving. So if you both do well on those checks, the group will advance by quite a bit. If you both do poorly on those checks, the group will find itself sort of lagging and stopping. So Cal is kind of in charge of the quality of the climb, or rather sort of the things you encounter in the climb. Helena and Satus, you are in charge of keeping the climb moving onwards. Periodically, and depending on what happens, I may make you take a roll to determine whether you reach the point of being exhausted. You are going up a vertical rock face, so that will happen periodically. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get this climb started.
All right.
Excited.
And I think let's start with you, Emma. 2 perception checks. As you begin the
Okay.
climb, Maisie sort of quickly scampers up the side of the rock face, sort of showing you can use that point to rest your leg, and you can just like get leverage a little bit there, and like that crack is not so stable. Don't put your hands there. How do you do on your first check?
Okay, on my first check, I rolled an 18.
on 18. Terrific. The view is very quickly majestic. You sort of at a certain point look behind you and realize sort of, that you can basically see all the way to the sea from here, even though it is still relatively low on Mount Firmament's side of things. Helena and Satus, how are you two advancing the climb at this point? What are you doing?
I think, like most true to Satus, if there was, I guess, as much as I want to try to find a way to get history in the mix, I feel like nature, maybe just because like we're just starting the hike, kind of like lay of the land, looking at what we can see so far, and maybe being a history boy, he spits some nature game about what he's observing.
Cool. Roll me a nature check then.
All right, so that gets me a +3 at least. That is a 3 + 3 for a 6.
Cool. You start to a little bit kind of be going, oh my god, like look, like this kind of flower is growing here, and the fact that like this moss is over here means that this, and then from above you hear Maisie's voice just going, can you please be climbing? More climbing, less botany. Come on.
No.
Valid.
Helena, what about you?
Buoyed up by that, I think Helena's basically using athletics here to try and put some muscle into the fact that she has not climbed, but yeah.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, I get a 19 + 6.
Great. Yes.
Dang.
You are able to sort of advance, and you definitely sort of lose a little bit of time from Satus's nature watching, but you make good time. You make it up the mountain, the first chunk of the mountain, very well.
Awesome.
Alrighty. After about an hour of climbing, it is pretty much still just vertical rock face. So no way to go but forward. Cal, perception checks, please.
Right. I got 2 18s again.
Ooh.
Yeah. Dang.
Alrighty. Helena and Satus, what about for the second stretch? What would you like to do?
Well, nature didn't go so hot, so maybe now that we are making our way a little bit higher up, maybe Satus starts talking a little bit about what it takes to survive in the wilderness and tries to go for the survival route.
Nice.
So that's a +4 to a 12, so that's a 16.
Excellent. This much more well received. You are able to sort of bring in the facts that you know about these kinds of adventures and a little bit about this terrain, and it is sort of this like actually really pleasant combination of story time but also like factual information. It sort of keeps people's minds off of their muscles, which are definitely starting to ache, while still providing some help in the process of getting them up the hill effectively. Helena, what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm hugely enjoying hearing this from Satus, and whilst that's happening, I am just climbing along. I'm sticking with athletics if it's not broke. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, so that time is a 16.
Great. You advance another sort of chunk and make it further up the mountain. By this point, when you look down, you can no longer sort of see very clearly the little plateau area where you started. Helena, you periodically now start to notice Blaze sticking their head out of your bag and making sort of pleased cooing noises as they take in the view around you. Satus and Cal, Avanzada, and Volt seem to be much more hesitant to stick their heads out right now as sort of the height advances and increases.
Yeah.
Makes
You
sense.
like being high up? That's pretty cute.
Oh. Blaze is so cute.
You are now 2 hours into your climb, and very much still in a vertical wall, Maisie will sort of look down at the three of you and go, how's everyone doing? Everyone still there?
Hanging in.
We're good. Thanks, Maisie.
All right, let's keep going. Cal, perception checks, please.
Okay. Okay, that time just a 17.
Just a 17. Terrific.
I like having advantage.
Well, it's a good thing you brought a guide.
Yeah.
Helena and Satus, what are we doing for this stretch?
Think again, survival work. Let's do another survival thing. Keep the survival stories going.
Yeah.
And that is a 16 plus 4 for a non-natural 20.
I think that, yeah, like that sort of same effect that we talked about before continues. The stories are now perhaps getting a little bit more esoteric, but weirdly that works even better. You know, like, now that you've sort of gotten into the role of, like, telling stories and just, like, projecting your voice around you, you are just able to sort of, you know, bring in stories from other places, and it works even better in terms of kind of keeping everyone's minds half on what they're doing, but half off of sort of the aching pains of it.
Cool.
Helena?
Strength this time, I think.
Alrighty.
Digging deep with strength. Here we go. 17.
Oh, some excellent rolls as you kind of just like run into a couple of places where, especially I think like maybe Satus needs some help getting over an obstacle, and you're just able to kind of go like, no, here. Let me just brace and like use me as a point of leverage and just get over it. All right, yep, and then you're able to pull yourself up after him. But yeah,
Awesome.
you're able to make it through another chunk of the mountain, no problem. Emma, roll me a d8, please.
A D8. That's an 8.
Oh, ooh, I like that.
Nice.
I hope that's good.
As you and Maisie get to a point when you're trying to determine what is the best way to go, you suddenly find an area of the mountain where rather than it just being a vertical face, it becomes a little bit more of a slope onwards. And with a little bit of maneuvering, you're able to get there, and suddenly you're able to, for a chunk of the mountain, climb it on your own feet, rather than sort of, you know, going up bit by bit by bit.
Let's
Nice.
go.
Ah,
So, very, very nice. For the next 2 hours, it is much nicer and much easier advancement. It is less exhausting. Your dragons enjoy the time being outside of your bags and getting a chance to
Yeah.
actually, like, wander around. Maisie is still very amazed by them and will largely be commenting on
Amazed.
them. Yes, exactly.
yeah. Amazing, Maisie.
But so 2 hours go by before you get to another point where basically you have no way to go that is not climbing off a vertical face again.
Yeah.
Maisie will kind of go, all right, it's about 11th bell now. We've kind of been going for about 5 hours, but we have a little bit of solid ground beneath our feet right now. Do we want to camp here for the day, or do we want to keep going?
I think we can keep going.
I think we can go a little bit farther, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you're the bosses, guys. Let's do this.
Okay.
Cal, perception checks, please.
Okay. Here we go. I mean, the first one was a natural 20. so
Ooh.
Awesome.
Let's go.
super perceptive.
Helena and Satus, what are you guys doing to advance the climb around here?
I think now, bolstered by how well. Oh wait, are our dragons still out?
I think that as they get back into the bag, unless you tell me, or excuse me, as you get into the point where you're climbing off a vertical face, unless you tell me otherwise, they get back in the bags.
Well, maybe what I would like to do is like this could be a fun training moment where maybe I like see if Avanzada has like a good sniffer about her, and I try to use this as justification for animal handling, and maybe it's like a training moment of like, see this, smell that, look at the mountain,
I dig it. I think that the check for, like, you're gonna have to roll very high for this to advance the
then,
climb,
yeah.
but you can do it.
And then in that case, I can just go with like a nature check instead. Just kind of like, we're a bit higher up, it's new terrain, maybe there's new things, and maybe my botany tips are more well received this time. So that's going to be +3 to a 9, so that's a 12.
You get a little scolded because you
Botany
think
boy.
that you think that, like, the trees that are sort of jutting out from the side of the mountain are starting to become different, and so you remember something about this kind of tree having, like, very, very deep roots, and so you start to go, we can use these for leverage, like, we can kind of, like, hold on to these and just kind of, you know, use them to propel ourselves up faster. And from the top, you sort of hear Maisie going like, no, you can't. Don't do it. But you try one, and sure enough, the moment that you put your feet under it, you hear this cracking sound as the root that you were leaning onto gives way. And you don't fall, you catch yourself, but it is basically sort of a moment that then you have to get untangled from the tree. You need to get yourself back on course. You sort of feel Maisie glowering down at you a little bit as she sort of goes.
Yeah.
I told you. Beth, what about you?
Helena is going to try and advance the climb by persuading everybody that we are doing great, that when we get to the next stop, we're going to have the best meal ever, and that we all just need to dig deep and push on.
Roll me that persuasion check.
Personal trainer Helena.
Yeah, I get a 14 plus 6 for a non-natural 20.
Wow.
If you said persuaded.
Yeah.
It's a little bit perhaps like a mantra that Helena's just doing over and over again. We're doing great. 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 And something about it, though, is really encouraging. There's something, you know, like, you definitely feel like the climb has slowed down a little bit now that you're back to just a vertical cliff face. But this kind of is able to keep you guys going pretty effectively and pretty well. As you advance, though, Emma, you start to see two large eagles that seem to be circling around you. And they don't approach, they don't do anything, but you definitely kind of notice those two birds are just kind of hanging out around you.
Hey, you still in there, Volt? Stay in there. Good boy. Here, a little meat bit. Yeah. Okay, noted. Hey, look, eagles.
Maisie will sort of go, yeah, that's probably those assholes that Lauren was talking about.
Assholes?
What?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of the leopards are druids. They can wild shape into different things. Those are the aerial agents that she said would be keeping an eye on us.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
They won't fuck with us, at least not too much. But
That's good.
they won't help us if we run into trouble. So let's keep our heads down to the ground.
Okay. Thanks, Maisie.
It is now noon. And despite having the noonday sun beating down upon you, the conditions around you are getting colder and colder. Every bit of breeze is now starting to be something that bites into you. Fortunately, your cold weather gear has just been mended by the in-house tailor.
Let's go.
Yes.
Blowing rocks. Emma, 2 perception checks, please.
Okie dokie. That's another 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Beth and Satus, what are you guys doing for this next little bit?
All right, now, anyone that's been on a hike for a while, you need to take some of the distractions away, especially since we have some of these jerks around.
Yeah.
Is it time for story time with Satus and Kurtum? A little bit of a let's have some levity, jovial story time performance.
100%.
I love it.
Okay, cool. That is... Oh, thank God. So that's a 7 plus 11 for performance for an 18.
Whoa.
Damn!
Wow.
Satus is off his game, which is to say incredible instead of simply
Yeah.
like, normally it is like dazzlingly brilliant in a way that you've never heard before. This is merely incredible, but it is still incredibly effective in kind of, again, blocking out the distractions, blocking out sort of the intimidation factor of these eagles. You are just kind of able to just be there in the climb now that Satus is telling you these stories. So, amazing. Helena, how are you doing?
Good, I'm right there on the climb. Rhythmically climbing while Satus is telling stories. Athletically climbing. Let's see how that goes. Okay. So I get 7 plus 6, 13.
You're definitely trying to do sort of a little bit more of a darting around, trying to just kind of like get to different spots. And at a certain point, you almost slip and like almost lose your grip. But like you end up being able to like hold on to it quite all right. Yeah.
Great. Still able to hold on to it.
And so you advance another little bit. Emma, roll me another d8, please.
Okay. That time I got a 6.
A 6. As you look up, you see a small bush growing on the side of the cliff face, with some bright red berries growing off of it.
Can I do any sort of perception or nature check to see what kind of berries they are?
I think that you absolutely can.
Okay, and that's a nature check?
Yep.
Okay. Ooh, that's not bad. Nature. So 18 plus 2 for a non-natural 20.
Ooh, okay.
They are what are these things called? Travelers call them Everlight fairies. They're berries, excuse me. They are very, very rare, but they are known to be tremendous boons for travelers. One bite of them has been known to invigorate people and just give them sort of a burst of energy. So that is a thing that if you wanted to, you could try them.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hey guys,
Berries.
I think those are Everlight berries.
I've heard of these.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Pass a couple of those up here.
Yeah. Here you go.
Awesome.
Here you go.
You're sure, right, Cal?
Here you go. What's that?
You're sure, right?
Yeah, I
Great.
am.
Okay. Awesome.
So for the next 3 segments, everyone has +2 to whatever they roll on top of whatever bonuses you already have.
Yeah.
However, at this point, I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay, so that is a +2. It's a 19 plus 2 for a 21.
I got another natural 20.
Wow.
Wow.
15 plus 6.
Tired who? You guys are ready to rock this mountain's world.
Terrifying.
Let's go.
Yeah, I know.
However, let's the 4 of us go on a quick break because we've now gone a little bit past the hour.
Perfect.
Now that we're super constituted.
jazzed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's take a quick break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, folks, to see how these guys do with the hard part of the mountain.
Yay!
We'll be back soon.
Okay.